What a great scene. I love this so much. Every year it becomes even more and more special. I'm David Hayes. I'm the president of the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors. And on behalf of the Board of Directors, I want to give you a big, hearty welcome and thank you so much for being here. And all those that have joined their loved ones, their family members, their mentors here tonight as they get inducted into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. Before we get started this evening with dinner, I'd like to introduce our board members. First, we have Lynn Hauser, past president, the first president. Where's Lynn? There he is, right there. John Baker, he's a board emeritus back there responsible for all the wonderful memorabilia. Good to see John back. We have Greer Warner, and Nancy unfortunately was unable to be with us, but she's with us here in spirit. Pat Hauser, another original board member, Sandy Searcy, Marcus Devereaux, Mark Deal, our MC tonight, Lance Ringlert, Nick Jenkinson, Ralph Siebold, Royce Deckard, Jeremy Price, Alan Dunn, Kay Fields, Dustin Carver, and Barrett Deal. Thank you guys so much for all you do. Pat, would you remain standing for just a second, please? After 18 years on the board, beginning with our inaugural year in 2009, Pat is stepping down. Pat's been board secretary for as many years as from the very, very beginning. She's always been the go-to member for each of the presidents, from her own husband to Kit to myself. And she was a paralegal, so she was always responsible for any legal matters that came up. Her, along with Vi Talaferro, back in 2010, were responsible for setting this up as a 503c organization. She's championed the Scholar Athlete program, collecting parents' names, students' names, money, everything it takes, the annual certificates, the banquet booklet, the wonderful booklet that's on your table, she's responsible for as well. Personal touch on the congratulatory ads. She's the best. The banquet booklet could not be here without her, so we'll figure that out for next year. And as secretary in the early years of the Hall of Fame, Pat would hand out what they called the Patty Award to the board members she thought contributed the most in any particular year. While several of those years, she could have picked herself. So Pat Hauser, you get the Career Patty Award tonight from me. And don't be surprised if I reach out to you in the future and ask for more. Here, Pat, I bought this for you on my way here. Thank you, Pat. All right, at this time, I would like my good friend Lynn Hauser, past president, to come up and give the invocation.
Good evening. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful event that is now in its 16th year. We thank you for the wonderful food we are about to eat and the efforts of many who make this event possible. We celebrate the worthy athletes, coaches, contributors, and pioneers who have made our county the great sports community it is. At the same time, Heavenly Father, we have a heavy heart tonight as we have lost another one of our county legends for the second straight years, just day before our banquet. Last year, we mourned the death of the great Bob Hamill, the legendary sports writer and 2015 inductee into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. And this year, we mourn Joe Smith, the legendary sportscaster who graced our airways for over a half century. Joel was a 2021 inductee into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame and also the master of ceremonies of this event until his health issues of recent years. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving us the likes of a Joe Smith and a Bob Hamill, not only as great contributors, but great friends. We will not forget them. And now please honor them with a moment of silence. Amen.
Yeah, it was a tough one. So now let's turn this to a celebratory night, okay? And I know Joe, if he were here, he would not want us to be sad. He'd want us to be happy and glad and celebrate all you great athletes, contributors, coaches, humanitarians, all of you. And he would be so happy and proud as an original board member to stand here and look at all of you tonight. So as we get ready to enjoy a wonderful meal together, just follow the Convention Center's queue and they'll release tables. At least that's what they told me they would do. And then about 7:15, or when I think it's about time, we will kick off tonight's ceremony. So thank you very much for being here. Enjoy your meal. It's always fantastic. Thank you. So welcome again to the 2026 Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame banquet and induction ceremony. We have around 230 or so here tonight to witness and support all those going into the Hall of Fame. So I'd like to begin by thanking our sponsors. 32 years ago, I founded a company called Comprehensive Financial Consultants, and 16 years ago, Brent Slinkert asked me to be the title sponsor, and I said yes. And here I am still today with a wonderful group of people that I work with every day serving the community, and we appreciate having the opportunity to be the title sponsor at Comprehensive Financial Consultants. Our presenting sponsors, Eric Powell and the Funeral Chapel, who I've personally seen the compassion that he's had with families walking through some of the most difficult times, a longtime supporter. Old National Bank, President Scott Shishman and his team, the heart, the culture, the DNA to have a strong relationship in our community. They're huge supporters. And Marquis Rental and Staging, since our very first banquet, they've made it a classy event as you can find anywhere. And then a big thanks to all of our contributing sponsors as well. And we will flip through those from IU Credit Union to Smithville Communications, Bloomington Convention Center, Curry Auto Centers, Midwest Low Vision powered by Long Family Eye Care, Bill C. Brown Associates, Steve's Roofing, Bunger and Robertson. Appreciate you guys. JC Bank as well, first time sponsors, and also the Herald Times, along with IMA Healthcare Foundation and Midwest Color Printing as well. We have the Bob Hamill Memorial Scholarship Fund that we give away each year. And this year, to 2 athletes, male and female, of each of the area public high schools, we had a wonderful ceremony at the beautiful Whippoorwill Hill. And honored that night were a handful of student athletes. So at Edgewood High School, who I believe is here tonight, first is Carter Hayden. And Carter is a 3-sport athlete, 4-year starter playing defensive line, offensive line at Edgewood. He's going to be heading to Wabash, played baseball, had a heck of a batting average, .341. Starting forward on the basketball team. You just don't see that very often anymore, having 3-sport athletes. But Carter is here tonight, and I'd like to have Carter come up and get his award, his certificate. If you don't mind, Carter, come on up, buddy. The other person, from Edgewood High School, if I can get my notes right here. We have, here we go. Eliana Bagadis. Thank you very much. She was the most successful swimmer in school history, first one to ever qualify for state, won the 50 freestyle and 100 butterfly at sectional, hold school records, numerous school records, helped cross country make the 2025 state meet for the very first time, and also was honorable mention all-state. So we want to say congratulations to her as well. At Bloomington South, also here tonight is Connor Couch. Connor helped South win the 2025 sectional in tennis, 20-2 record as a junior, making second team All-State with doubles with his partner Josh. In baseball, he had a lot of success there as well, including some walk-off home runs and an incredible career at Bloomington South. And I believe he'll be attending Columbia University. So Connor, if you're here, come on up. Also from Bloomington South, we have, here we go. Hayden McGuire. That's Bloomington North, I apologize. Ellie Barada, there we go. If you didn't see what she accomplished, it was incredible. Shattering record after record. Herald Times Track Athlete of the Year in 2025, record holders in the 400, 800, 600, incredible. I know her family very, very well. She actually competed in Team USA for the World Championships, an incredible young lady as well. And then for Bloomington North, we had Hayden McGuire, cross country, 4 years in cross country, an incredible career there as well. And then we also have Caleb Winders, in cross country, all state in both sports. Listen to this, 4-time state champion in the 4x800 relay and 2-time 800 champion, national 800 champion in the new balanced outdoor meet. Unbelievable career, heading to North Carolina to continue to run. So I want to tell you that, yes, it's a great night. We give them money, but for me, it's the most prestigious award because it's where best in athletes intersect with the best in academics, and we call it the Bob Hamill Award for that reason, and they're forever enshrined on the website of the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. So we appreciate these young people doing such a great job in representing their teams. After we learned of Joe Smith's passing, I wanted to let you know, Joe's kids, Jeff and Jamie, asked at the funeral. It's going to be August 7th at Sherwood Oaks Christian Church. Again, Eric Powell is handling the service. They asked for people in lieu of flowers to donate to the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. Well, one of our initiatives after this banquet was to begin an endowment for scholarships. So with that, we decided we would name the endowment the Joe Smith Memorial Endowment Fund, with the purpose of supporting the Bob Hamill Scholar Athlete Award. Now, here's my challenge to you. There's already been a number of donations made in Joe's behalf, but on your table, there is this, and also in your program, an opportunity for you to give. Our goal is to eventually grow this endowment to $250,000, and at a 5% distribution rate, that's $2,000 for each kid's scholarship, and we're going to do it. And the cool thing is, my friend Eric at the funeral chapel, I called him. He's on a cruise. He couldn't be here. He said, I want to match the first $2,500 raised tonight for the Joe Smith Memorial Scholarship Fund. So let's do it. Let's get in Eric's pocket, and let's raise some money. So I appreciate everybody's participation in that. All right. And before I bring Mr. Deal up as the MC for the evening, I'd like to recognize our former inductees that are here tonight. I couldn't believe how many were here. I'm going to first recognize two that I don't have the actual year of being inducted, but we have Andy Graham in the house, of course. Huh? Oh, they told me back here he was, so he will be. I should know. Bill Atkinson's here. I saw him. And Bill, if you don't mind, stand up, say hello. In 2011, we have Dave Voles, of course, the Olympian Dave Voles. In 2012, J.R. Holmes, coach of Bloomington South, winningest coach in Indiana history. 2013, Missy Ringler, of course, golf, track and field. 2014, George Finley, contributor. Dr. Larry Rink in 2014 as humanitarian. 2017, Ralph Seabolt, track, field, cross country. 2018, George Fielding, coach, golf and basketball. Also in 2018, Sherry Dunbar Cruzan, basketball, volleyball, one of my Edgewood favorites. 2028, wrestling, Randy May. He never saw anyone that could hold him down. In 2019, Coach Royce Deckard, of course, legendary wrestling coach at Bloomington South. 2019, Steve Gobert, he was football, baseball, wrestling. 2019, Tyler Thompson, baseball and football as well. His quarterback's being inducted tonight. In 2021, John Harrell, contributor, sports writer, he's here tonight. 21, Coach Mo Moriarty is here tonight as well. Football, Bloomington South. Jimmy Jackson from 2022, contributor, baseball, 35 years as an umpire. In 2022, Coach Greer Warner, baseball. 2024, trainer, Dave Grossman as a contributor. 2024, we had Mr. Conte at athlete basketball. You saw those big tall guys come in, it was great. 2024, Mike Mossbrucker, football, baseball, wrestling. In 2025, Jim Murphy, he was a contributor right over here. And in 2025, we also had Shelby Wilson, Olympic wrestler, contributor to Monroe County. So let's give it up for these fellas. We appreciate you so much for being here, and gals. I know we've said this before, but by far in Monroe County, there are more elite athletes than anywhere else in the country per capita. There's no question about it. 9 Olympians, people that have made it to the highest level of their sport, professional, elite coaches. It's really, really incredible how many great athletes, coaches, contributors, and humanitarians that we have here in Monroe County. So without further ado, we're going to bring up my friend Mark Deal, the MC for the night, and we're going to get the show started. So thank you.
Just a little housekeeping before we start. We'd like all our new inductees to start at the back of the room and walk the red carpet before we start, and you're going to be escorted by current Hall of Fame members of this board. We will start tonight with the Pioneer Awards, so if the representatives of the Moores would please go back, and I know Jimmy and David are going to be back there to escort you down the red carpet. Before I begin tonight, let me say a few words about my predecessor at this banquet. I met Joe Smith as an IU football player in 1975. As an undergrad, I used to listen to WTTS AM 1370 every day. I'd listen every morning to Joe Smith in his daily sports recap. Now, I ain't that old, but this was before ESPN, okay? That's how I'd get the scores every day, was through Joe in the morning. And Joe would do his sports show, Sports Sunny Side Up, sponsored by Full of Pep Appliance, every morning. In 1980, I left Bloomington to coach college football all over the country and chased college football jobs and different conferences and different levels all over the country. And 16 years later, Coach Bill Mallory brought me back to Bloomington. And some things in Bloomington were new, and some things in Bloomington hadn't changed a bit. But what was the same were two people, reading Bob Hamill and listening to the smooth, reassuring voice of Joe Smith on 1370. I immediately knew I was home. Joe Smith was the voice of Monroe County. In 2011, this wonderful Hall of Fame was born. I was not yet on the board, but I attended the banquet, and Joe led the way at this podium. Joe emceed every year until his health prevented him from continuing, and I have been honored to be his successor for the past few years. But let me make this clear tonight. This is Joe Smith's microphone. This is Joe Smith's microphone, and I'm going to bust my butt tonight to make Joe proud of the job that I do. Thank you, Joe Smith. Now, on to our first inductees, our pioneers, and wait till I get done with the entire induction before reading before you come down the carpet. Henry and James Moore, Bloomington High School, 1943 to 1945, wrestling. In 1943, became the first set of twins to win titles in Indiana high school wrestling, helping Bloomington High School to win the team championship. The brothers left high school after their junior year to serve in the United States Navy in World War II. Let me repeat. The brothers left high school after their junior year to serve the United States Navy in World War II, each winning a Bronze Star while in service. Can you imagine today, nothing against today's modern athletes, leaving high school after your junior year to serve our country? Amazing. After the war, they went to Indiana University and made the wrestling team, helping the Hoosiers to AAU titles in 47 and 48. They were inducted into the Indiana Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame in 1987, both named to the Indiana Wrestling Golden Anniversary Team in 1983. In 1997, they received their 50-year I-Man Award from IU. And in 2000, they were named Bloomington Legends of Wrestling. Representing Henry Moore, is Shelley Grissom, and representing James Moore is his wife, Kathy Moore. They are being escorted to the stage by Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame members Dave Grossman and Jimmy Cornwell. Ladies and gentlemen, the Moores.
There you are. You want to go first? I think I am. You go first. It's okay. Okay. Got your glasses on.
Okay.
Go
All right.
ahead.
Okay. I hope I can get through this. My dad was 100 and just passed away in November. At 100, what a beautiful life. He would have been so happy to be here. First of all, I'd like to thank Sandy and the committee that made this event possible. A special thank you to Chris and Royce Deckard. You were both very special to my dad. My dad would have loved being here with a group of people that I'm sure he would have called his tribe, his family, his friends, and fellow athletes. I'd like to say a few things about Dad. You've all heard of his wrestling achievements, but I'd like for you to hear about where he came from. He and Uncle Jim were raised in Clear Creek. They were known as the Clear Creek Boys. They were good boys. They caddied at the Bloomington Country Club for the judge and other local politicians at that time. I can hear the judge say, when going golfing, "Let's get the Moore boys." They discovered a love for wrestling early in school and excelled in it. At Bloomington High, they became state champions, the first set of twins to ever do so. And I remember Dad said he had to cut weight so he and his brother could both wrestle together. Dad left for the Navy, as you heard, at the age of 18, and landed in Berkeley, California. He told us a story of being housed at a horse track where there were 9 men to a stall. I think it was more like 9 boys to a stall. I love that story and often think how scared a kid from Clear Creek must have been. While in Berkeley, Dad wrestled for the Navy and met lifelong friends. I'd often come home and we'd look at albums of men he'd served and wrestled with. When he returned, he enrolled at IU and wrestled here. He helped IU run many titles. And when I was going to IU, I'd often drop by the Union just to look at the photo of him and Uncle Jim with the 1947 undefeated wrestling team. He was later inducted into the Indiana Wrestling Hall of Fame. Dad loved wrestling. Wrestling taught him to be disciplined, to work hard, to take loss respectfully, that friendships are valued, and school and community are priceless. He then passed all those values to all of us girls. Hank was the original girl dad. He would have loved this gathering with so many people that had a love and passion for their sport. Thank you so much for honoring my dad.
Ditto. Okay, hello, good evening. Hers is pretty much my same story with you. It's an honor to be here tonight. My husband would have loved to have been here. He was a personable man. He loved people and a big talker. He would have been proud to be inducted into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. I have to admit, I didn't know him at the time. I'm younger than he was, by the way. Wasn't around during his, I wasn't around during his high school wrestling days, but I heard all the stories. I've seen firsthand just how proud he was of his career. Wrestling meant a great deal to him. He often spoke about his coach, Two-Bit Myers, who was a mentor and stayed friends with us for years till he passed. He was an awesome man. Not only as a coach, but as a mentor, I said that. And of course, there was his twin brother, Hank, right beside him on the mat. His path, however, wasn't the typical one. Again, they were taken out of high school for World War II, but he was proud of that. He served in the Navy for, 4 years, and he wrestled for the Navy, which he loved. Came back and got his GED, because I didn't get to finish high school, and went on to IU and wrestled for IU, which he was very proud of that. What stands out most to me about his story is not just the victories or the championships, but the perseverance behind them, the dedication to keep going, whether on the mat or in the military or in continuing his education. Tonight's honor recognizes those achievements, and it couldn't be more well-deserved. I know how much wrestling meant to him. On behalf of our family, we thank you all very much for this honor. Good night.
How cool is that 1945 sweater from BHS? That is awesome. That is so cool. Our next coach is not here, unfortunately. He had passed away. John McLeod, basketball. A coaching career that started at Smithville and led to legendary status in the NBA. Played 4 years of basketball and baseball at Clarksville Providence High School, Also ran track, where he set school records in the 440 and hurdles. Went on to Bellarmine, where he earned a school record 10 letters in basketball, baseball, and track. John McLeod's first coaching job was at Smithville, 1963 to 1965. He took the Ski-Bows to the 1965 sectional final before losing to Bloomington High. Also coached baseball and cross country at Smithville. Coached at Indianapolis Cathedral in from 65 to 67. In 1967, became the head coach at the University of Oklahoma and coached the Sooners for 6 years. Started his pro career as the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. He took the Suns to the NBA Finals in 1976 against the Boston Celtics, highlighted by one of the greatest NBA playoff games of all time, a triple overtime thriller in the Boston Garden, and in my opinion, the greatest 7-game final series I've ever seen in 1976 against the Celtics. John had 579 wins in 15 seasons at Phoenix, making him the winningest coach in Suns history. He was coach of the 1982 NBA All-Star Game. He later was head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, the New York Knicks, and finished his 18-year career with a record of 707, 657, and 11 playoff appearances. In 1991, he succeeded Digger Phelps at Notre Dame and coached the Irish for 8 years, winning the Big East Coach of the Year award in 1997. He returned to the NBA in 1999 and served as an assistant with the Suns, the Nuggets, and the Warriors before retiring in 2006. He was named to the Phoenix Suns Ring of Honor in 2012 and the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame in 2016. He was inducted into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in 2005, and he passed away in August of 2019. Please watch the video screen as John McLeod's son, Matt McLeod, who played for his dad at Notre Dame, gives a message from the McLeod family.
Hey everybody, my name is Matt McLeod. I'm the son of John McLeod, who is honored to be obviously an inductee into the 2026 class at the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. So thank you for this honor. My family, including my mom and my sister, certainly thank you for that, and certainly it's a great tribute and honor to my father, and thanks to the Sports Hall of Fame. Everybody, my name is Matt McLeod. I'm the son of John McLeod, who is honored to be obviously an inductee into the 2026 class and obviously wound up in the NBA from being a coach at Smithville. But he always talked about getting that start at Smithville and having that opportunity at Smithville and what he learned at Smithville. And I know that was, at this point, 60 years ago. But my father never forgot where he came from. Was obviously a proud Hoosier. Grew up in New Albany, Indiana. Went to high school at Providence High, and then, of course, went to college across the river in Kentucky at Bellarmine, where he was a three-sport athlete, which, of course, is kind of unheard of in today's day and age. But what I really want to talk about today is my father's legacy. And regardless of what he accomplished on the court, I think his real legacy is how he treated people, the way he was able to connect with people, how he always handled himself with class and dignity and grace. And it's a rare thing in today's sports world, and even back then, to have a father or a coach at that point who was universally respected, universally admired, and no one could really say a bad thing about him. And that's a tribute to him in the way he treated people, the way he handled himself. And that's not something that you see all the time, and that is rare in today's day and age. Coaching can be a very difficult profession. You get a lot of people who are gunning for you and who would easily put, a knife in your back to get to where they want to go. And so it's competitive. It's a dirty game in some respects. But my father was never that kind of guy. He was always the guy who would rise above and the one who wouldn't let any politics or gamesmanship triumph. He was always one who made sure that he was steady to his values, steady to what was important. And that's the way he always handled himself, both as a man and a coach and as a father. So you're getting a great coach, obviously, when you're introducing and inducting my father into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame, but you're getting a greater man. And I think, obviously he passed away 6 years ago, but his legacy lives on. And my kids never got to know him. I know my sister's kids never really got to know him, but his legacy that lives on is the way he treated people. And it's an honor for me to still have these experiences as his son, whether it's at the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame or whether it's at the Hall of Fame for the Phoenix Suns or even the National Basketball Hall of Fame. My dad is honored at all of those places. And I still get to experience people telling me about what he meant to them and what kind of person he was. So that's a tribute to obviously him, but it's also something that I take very seriously, and it's a great source of pride for myself and obviously my kids as well. So again, thank you for this great honor. I know my father would be proud to be a member of the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame, and I know he was a Smithville coach through and through and never forgot where he came from. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and thank you, everyone, for what you've done here today, and best of luck. And again, sorry I can't be here, but additionally to all the other inductees, congratulations, well deserved. Hope you enjoy your night. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee, as our next coach of the evening, is going to be Chris Byers from Bloomington High School North, 1975. North graduate, whose 38-year coaching career includes 26 years as an assistant under J.R. Holmes at South, helping the Panthers to 14 sectionals, 11 regionals, 5 Final Fours, and 2 state titles. Chris took the head coaching position at Martinsville in 2012 and 2013 and guided the Arties, that's a little nod to Joe Smith, who always loved to call them the Arties, to the sectional title. Chris went on to even greater heights as the head coach at Warren Central, winning the 2018 Class 4A state title with a 32-0 record, most wins by an undefeated champion in state history and a number 2 ranking nationally. Warren Central extended a win streak to 46 games in 2019, the 3rd longest in state history. Also coached girls basketball and golf at South. His girls' basketball team won the sectional in 1996 at South. His coaching start came as a graduate assistant under Bob Knight and IU from 1980 to 1982, earning an NCAA championship ring with the 1981 Hoosiers. In 1981, Chris coached Bloomington AAU to a national title. He coached the Indiana All-Stars to a sweep of Kentucky in 2019. In 2018, he was named USA Today National Coach of the Year, NFHS Indiana Coach of the Year, Indiana Basketball Coaches Association Coach of the Year, Marion County Coach of the Year, and MIC Conference Coach of the Year. He coached the USA Basketball Men's North Squad to the gold medal at the Youth Development Festival in Colorado Springs in 2000. Chris retired after the 2025-26 season with a career record of 168 and 119. Our latest inductee into the 2026 Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame, escorted by Marcus Debro, also a Hall of Famer, is Coach Chris Byers.
Thank you. It's a lot easier talking to a locker room full of players than it is to you guys. I want to thank the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame board for this incredible honor. Congratulations to the other Hall of Fame inductees. There are many people that I would like to thank, and I'm sure I'm going to forget some. But first of all, I'd like to thank my mom, who has always encouraged me to pursue whatever made me happy. She is and was and still is my biggest fan. My daughter Dara and my son Christopher for their understanding as to the many activities that I was either late to or missed due to basketball. They always waited up on a Friday night or Saturday night till I got home. It didn't matter if we won or lost. They were just happy to see me, so that was good. Very proud of both of them. Most of all, I'd like to thank my wife, Debbie. She has always encouraged me from day one, every step of the way. She is truly a coach's wife. We got married on a Saturday afternoon. Sunday morning, we were in a gym in Indianapolis. I was coaching an AAU basketball game. So our honeymoon was delayed. We did it later on that summer, but that shows her dedication to me as well. When I was offered the Warren Central position, without hesitation, Debbie thought I should accept it. It would be a great opportunity. I was a little hesitant at first, but I'm so glad that I listened to her, or none of this would have happened. Love you, Debbie. Kenny and Chris Byers for all of their support, not just in basketball, but all through my life. Ken Beatty, who graduated from Bloomington North and was one of their star basketball players, called me the day that I got hired at Warren Central and asked me if I needed an assistant. He's been by my side and with me for the 11 years I've been up in Indianapolis. Tom Atkinson, who most of you who probably do not know, some of you do, he gave me my very first chance to coach basketball when I was 14 at the Bloomington Boys Club. I was able to help him coach. The Boys Club was very instrumental in me being where I am today. I'd like to thank Bud Fick, Doug Yeske, and Bernie Nitbalski. All of them had a tremendous impact on me growing up at the Boys Club. I was blessed to work for 3 Hall of Fame coaches in my career. The first was Bill Springer. He called me and asked me if I would like to coach the Bachelor 7th grade team. It's the first time I had an opportunity to coach at a different level other than Boys Club or AAU. In fact, I saw Mr. Piercy here. He was on that 7th grade team, my very first team. Then he asked me if I would help coach the next year at Bloomington South, which I did. Then I was able to spend 2 unforgettable years working for Coach Knight. That was a lifelong dream to be able to work with Coach Knight. The third Hall of Fame coach is J.R. Holmes, who needs no introduction. He hired me in summer of 1982 when he first got here to coach the JV team and to also help assist the varsity. I spent nearly 30 years with J.R. and at Bloomington South. I'll always be grateful to him for everything that he opened the doors for me. As you heard earlier, he's not only a Hall of Famer, but he's also the winningest coach in the history of high school basketball in Indiana. That's quite an accomplishment. I'd like to thank Marcus Clayton and Rich Shepler. Rich is here tonight. Marcus was the athletic director, and Rich was the principal at Warren Central. They gave me an opportunity to go up there and coach, and they took a chance on me. Because of their support and anything that we wanted to do and everything we wanted to do, we were able to accomplish and have a great deal of success. Also, I've been fortunate enough to work for 2 principals, Mark Fletcher and Rich Shepler, who truly understand the importance of athletics and academics and how they go hand in hand. Growing up, there were 4 of us Hill guys. Some of you know what the Hill is, some of you do not. But there were 4 of us Hill guys who grew up together. Bob Pryor, Marcus Devereaux, and Larry Winters. We pushed each other, we encouraged each other, we helped each other. Together, we accomplished things that others didn't think we could. Finally, I'd like to thank the good Lord for his many blessings. I've been blessed with an incredible family, friends, mentors, and players. Thank you.
We move on to our contributors. Dr. Andy Hipskin, Medicine, Bloomington High School North, 1991. Andy had nearly 2 decades of exceptional service in sports medicine for IU before passing away in 2021 at the age of 48. Andy excelled at 3 sports for the Cougars in football, basketball, and track and field. Andy went to IU and won 4 letters in track and field in 1992, 93, 94, and 95. He earned his undergraduate and doctorate degree in medicine from Indiana University. As an undergraduate, he received the Wilkinson Award as Phi Gamma Delta's most outstanding senior. He joined the IU staff in 2003 as director of sports medicine and team physician for IU football. Beginning in 2014, he served as the Senior Assistant Athletic Director of Sports Medicine and IU Athletics' first ever Chief Medical Officer. In 2021, Andy received the IU Distinguished Service Medal. Each year, IU Athletics recognizes a male and female student athlete with the Andy Hipskin Comeback Award for unwavering resilience through adversity. Something that Andy taught all of us in the athletic department who worked with him for 3 years, from 2019 to 2021, as Andy fought courageously against a battle against cancer. Escorted by Hall of Fame, Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame member Dr. Larry Rink, is Andy Hipskin's wife, Angie, and his son, Andy Hipskin.
thank you for everyone showing up tonight to honor the inductees. This is an amazing honor to receive this award on behalf of Andy. I know he would love to be here celebrating with everyone. He was an amazing athlete and a very inspirational contributor to both youth and collegiate athletes in our community. And I know that everyone here continues to let his legacy live on through them, through their actions, and through the way they participate in sports and show up as leaders in sports and support others. And I just can't thank you enough for letting us participate in tonight's activities. Thank you. We love you, Andy.
Our next contributor is Rex Kurtz, sports writer. The longest tenured sports writer in Bloomington, with a career spanning 40 years, over 40 years, from 1966 to 2008. A Lafayette native who graduated from Indiana University in 1964 after serving as sports editor at the Indiana Daily Student. Rex's first job was sports editor of the Crawfordsville Journal-Review. He was hired by the Bloomington Herald-Telephone in 1966, but joined the Bloomington Courier-Tribune in 1967. For those of you who don't know, we used to have two papers in this town, a morning paper and an evening paper. Pretty cool, pretty cool. He returned to the Herald-Telephone in 1968 and remained there until retiring on January 1st, 2009. His primary beat was high schools, but he also covered Indiana University sports and auto racing. But Rex made his biggest impact in high school football, traveling to various schools to write columns on other programs, not just in Monroe County. Each year, beginning in midsummer, Rex would call coaches throughout the state for input on the HT's annual All-State football teams, which was published every Thanksgiving edition of the Herald-Times for 30 years. By the way, when I came back to work for Coach Mallory, Rex would come over to the football office and talk to those of us who were recruiting in the state and ask us about certain players, what we thought. Whether we were recruiting them or not, okay, we let them know, were they a good football player and deserve it to be on there. Rex did his homework. He knew what he was doing. The All-State Thanksgiving edition featured a top 33 team, plus a big state and small state teams, and an academic All-State team. The top 33 team was must-reading for high school coaches and college recruiters, especially this college recruiter at Division III Wabash College with that academic All-State team. My first job was at Wabash College for 4 years, from 1980 to 1983. Every year at Thanksgiving, I would drive to Bloomington, buy 3 editions of the HT, one for the offense, one for the defense, and one for me, and bring it back to Wabash College. So we had it. There was no internet then, okay? That was the Bible. That was everything. And thank you, Rex, for that. His efforts were rewarded by the Indiana Football Coaches Association, which named its media award after him. Rex was also a recipient of awards from the IHSAA and coaches associations in other sports. Rex is a 4-time winner of the Indiana Sports Writer of the Year. He was inducted into the Indiana Sports Writers and Sportscasters Association in 2004, and in 2017, he received its Lifetime Achievement Award. His big name interviews included that he interviewed Pete Rose, Shaquille O'Neal, Walter Payton, John Madden, Arnold Palmer, A.J. Foyt, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jeff Gordon, Bob Knight, and O.J. Simpson. No, Rex was not in the Bronco. I'm glad some people still get that. Rex still resides in Bloomington with his wife, Beth Ann. Escorted by Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame member John Harrell, our newest inductee, Rex Kurtz.
Better clarify something about that O.J. Simpson comment. People ask me about people I've interviewed who've been great interviews, and O.J. Simpson was one of them. I went to a football game down at Cincinnati once, and at the time, now remember, this is at the time, this is before all the trouble, I thought O.J. had the most class of any professional athlete I'd ever interviewed. Later on, Arnold Palmer was right in that business, but no, O.J. was really classy that night, and everybody appreciated that. But I'm really happy to be here, tremendously happy, actually. And I never blocked or tackled or made a basket or hit a home run, but I must have done something relevant to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. And I appreciate everybody, so thank you. I'm very pleased that my son Mike and his wife Lisa made it from Tennessee. One of my other sons, Scott, from Tennessee, and his wife Teresa couldn't make it because Teresa came up ailing. I'm pleased my two stepdaughters and their husbands are here, Belinda and Dina and Ron and Lee. I was very lucky. In my second marriage to Beth Ann, I've got two of the best stepdaughters anybody could ever imagine having. And I'm happy to be presented by John Harrell. John was an inside guy. Nobody knew too much about him because he didn't write. After a few years, he was mostly a desk man, but he is one of the best desk men in the country. And I thought sure he'd be snapped up by the New York Times or somebody like that. My wife couldn't make it tonight, but she's had a tough final year. And but for 46 years we were married, and that helped me at a time when I needed help. Everyone thanks others who have been important in their lifetime, and in addition to the family and all that. And I just have a couple of guys I want to name. One was Jack Hopkins, high school journalism teacher. John Stemple at Indiana, the head of the department out there. Bob Owens and Bill Schrader and Bob Hamill, sports editors at the Herald Times. And you can't mention everybody, of course, who helped you, but I had some special people that I did want to mention. There was Dick and Annette Dullahan. Dick's a great football coach. Father Rex Grossman and son Danny Grossman, Ed Talley, and George Finley. Those guys all created something in me that I needed and I liked, and I appreciate their help very much. I know a lot of stories. Any sports writer can tell you a lot of great stories. Most of them are about trials and tribulations on the road, trying to file your stories on the road. Now, I think they've got it a lot easier today than we had it when me and Lynn Hauser had it. But I got to tell you about one story. Lynn and I were covering the 1993 state football championship, and it was South 1. And Lynn and I both filed our first stories. We were going to do two. We filed our first ones. They got through, no problem. The second stories did not get through. So John Harrell back on the desk and Pat Bean on the desk, and they were getting kind of aggravated at us. They thought we were messing up. And I told them we weren't. We're doing the same thing we did before. And we later found out, like next Monday or Tuesday, that the computer guy at the Herald Times, about midnight, he packed up some of the computer stuff and took it to his home to work on it. And therefore, the computer in the office was down. And that's why, and our stories didn't get here till 1 o'clock in the morning, and they're supposed to be here at midnight. A lot of fun, wasn't it, Lynn? And I know John and Pat were just going crazy back to the office because, they had to get a paper out. One other story, very early, 1967, I was with the Courier Tribune, and I went down to Dallas to cover Indiana's basketball team in a tournament down there. And filed my story and went back to my hotel. And a strange hotel, it was dark at night, and I was tired. And the wake-up call came the next morning, and I rolled over. I rolled over the wrong way, and I got stuck between the bed and the wall. And I don't mean I was stuck a little bit. I mean I was stuck way down there. And it was, I don't know, I know it was at least 15, maybe 20 minutes that I could not move and I could not get out of there. And I thought a lot of things, but I thought sure I was going to be there until the morning maid came to clean up the room. But I eventually got out of there and made my plane to the Rose Bowl. And one quick story about the Rose Bowl, I found out that Jack Mollenkoff, the Purdue football coach, was actually a pretty nice guy. And I just want to end by telling a few odds and ends about things that were important to me. I learned, one of the things I learned was from Hub Etchison, the great late coach at Richmond High School. He gave me my favorite athletic expression. It was called want to. I think of athletes and I think of that expression. From Ara Parsegian, when he was a Northwestern coach, I learned what KISS meant, K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, stupid. And on the way back that night on the plane with Bob Hamill, I started thinking about that, and I decided that Ara Parsegian knew what he was talking about, and I adapted my writing to the KISS system. I tried to simplify it and make sure that everybody could understand what I was writing. If I wrote something and you didn't understand it, that's not your fault, it's mine. So the KISS system really helped. Remember in high school, they used to say write to an 8th grade level. And that probably is a really good way to teach kids today. Another thing was very interesting, J.R. Holmes' South basketball team defeated a really, really good Lawrence North team on, I think it was Friday night at South. They had Greg Oden and that bunch, later won the 3 straight state championships. And for some reason, I was in South on Saturday morning, and JR was there. And I thought he was just doing his regular work. And I said, well, what are you doing? He says, win or lose, you still have to do the laundry. Chris Giesman, coach at Penn High School football, was retiring, and I called him and I asked him if he was going to be bored not being with football. And he said, Kurtz, he says, I never get bored doing anything. And I thought about that. I said, man, what a great philosophy of life. That's a great way to live. I still think that way. And the other last thing I want to talk about is on my desk at work, I had 2 small yellow pieces of paper. One was from Giesman on what I just said about I never get bored doing anything. The other one was a small yellow piece of paper from Bob Hamill. I was in the office one day grousing about something, and Bob said, oh, Rex, think of your blessings. And I thought about that a lot, and Bob started out, he says, beginning with your marriage to Beth Ann. That yellow piece of paper is still on my desk at home. Both of those yellow pieces of paper. But my wife is one of my greatest blessings, still is. Thank you very much, everybody.
Rex Bob Hamill's writing still impresses, even the simplest things. Our athletes, starting with Robert Bo Barzalauskas, Bloomington High School, 1994, football and wrestling. Lettered 4 years in football, an outstanding two-way tackle, capped off his senior year as a dominating force on South's 14-0 state champions of 1993. Indiana's Mr. Football, and still the only lineman to ever win the 32-year award. Parade Magazine, USA Today High School All-American, the only Bloomington player to make the National All-American Bowl in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where he played both ways in the full game. Wrestled for 3 years at South, advancing to the state finals as a heavyweight in 1993. Entered the Golden Gloves boxing and won the state title as a sub-novice in 1994. Recruited by Coach Bill Mallory at Indiana University and lettered as a freshman starter. That's hard to do for Coach Mallory, especially as a lineman. You got to be really good to play as a freshman lineman for Coach Bill Mallory. Transferred to Valdosta State his final year and earned all Gulf South Conference honors. Signed as a free agent with the 49ers in 2000, played in the Arena Football League and in NFL Europe. Received his Bachelor of Arts degree at IU and a Master's of Arts in Theology at St. Meinrad School of Theology. Served as a high school assistant coach at Bloomington North in football and wrestling in 2006 and 2007. The son of the late Carl Barzalauskas, a Bloomington businessman who was also a dominant lineman for IU who earned All-American honors in 1973. Carl was selected in the first round of the 1974 draft by the New York Jets, where he made the NFL All-Rookie team. Escorted by his high school coach and Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame member, Mo Moriarty, is 2026 inductee, Bo Barzalauskas.
Shortcut. Thank you very much, Coach, for that introduction. I'd like to start things off right and justly by thanking God for giving me the ability and the body to play the sport I'm being recognized here for tonight. I'd also like to thank him for giving me the opportunity to be here with you all after these many years and to celebrate all this inducted committee or induction people being inducted in here tonight. I'd also like to give a confession. I'm not really from Monroe County. I was born Robert Francis Barzalauskas in Long Island Jewish Hospital in Queens, New York. It's just a stone's throw away from Hofstra University, where my father was in training camp for the New York Jets during his second or third year. And in that locker room that summer, there was a pool, not a swimming pool, a betting pool, as to how much I was going to weigh. And the winner of that pool not only received a meager cash reward, but also the opportunity to nickname me, which is irresponsible parenting, if you ask me. But he nicknamed me Bobo. So that stuck around for a while and was shortened over the years to Bo, and that's what many of you have known me for my whole life, is Bo. So I say that, of course, because I have a lot to thank towards my father, obviously, Carl Barzalauskas, first of all, for passing down great genes to play the sport, but also passing down a lot of wisdom and knowledge about the game of football and preparing for the game of football, but also preparing for the game of life. Most of all, though, I need to thank him for being my best friend since day one until the very end, which was about 3 years ago. He passed away here in Bloomington. Next, I'd like to thank my new best friend, his wife, Kathy. I'd like to thank her for raising us, or raising me, and helping raise many others here tonight, and providing a copious amount of food for us to eat during training camps, many training camps that we used to have at our house, and just being a great presence in my life. And I thank you very much. And we're having fun. This is fun, a lot of fun. But from there, I'd like to branch out and thank other relatives of mine that are not here anymore. My grandparents, Ann Barzalauskas, my grandmother, and my two other grandparents, Bill and Charlene, and extended family. People are moving on, just like Joe did this year, and it's great to look back and realize the influence that they've had on your life. I'd then like to thank all my coaches and teachers and teammates and coworkers, many of who are here tonight, and several again that have passed on, just for forming me to be a good athlete and also forming me to be a good person later in life. I hope decent person, but other people that have just made Bloomington a great place to be and grow up. Lastly, I'd like to thank a committee here for accepting me into the Hall of Fame and putting on this great evening. What you all seeing here is just obviously the end of it. It's been going on for all year long, a lot of preparation involved with programs and awards and seating charts, Kay, and it was good to connect with a few people. Lynn, one of them this year from my childhood, sports superstar, and also Joe Smith, as Coach alluded to. I was very honored to be on Joe's radio show earlier this year, I think, or later last year, and honored to be called his friend. So we miss Joe. Coach is doing a great job, but as Coach said, this is Joe's mic, and will always be. So lastly, I'd like to thank Coach, believe it or not. Coach Deal has been a kind of a constant positive influence in my life, sporadically. I don't mean that like sometimes you aren't, sometimes you are. I mean, he has a uncanny ability to kind of swoop out of the ether and do like good things for you. And a lot of people know that, and a lot of people appreciate that, as do I. So with that, I just say thank you, Bloomington, and I appreciate this.
Our next athlete Ashley Benson, Bloomington High School North, 2007 volleyball. All-state volleyball player for the Cougars, who went on to Indiana University and become the Hoosiers' most decorated player in that sport. In high school, Ashley was ranked 17th nationally as a 6'3" middle blocker for the Cougars. She played collegiately for Monroe County Sports Hall of Famer Sherry Dunbar Cruzan at IU, making her the highest rated in-state recruit for Indiana ever. Ashley immediately became a starter and played all 4 years, competing in 132 matches, second most all-time in IU history. She holds the career records for total blocks, 629, and highest hitting percentage, 339. She holds the single season record for blocks, 172, and single match record for blocks, 13. She is 6th all-time in kills at 1492. You gotta understand, that's a lot for a middle, okay? A middle blocker doesn't get that many kills, and that's amazing. All Big Ten, 3 straight years, 2008 to 2010. Became IU's first All-American volleyball player when she made third-team All-American as a junior. Was named first-team All-American her senior year. She helped the Hoosiers reach the Sweet 16 in the NCAA volleyball tournament for the first time ever in 2010. She was IU's Female Athlete of the Year in 2010 and 2011. Ashley is the first volleyball player to be elected into the Indiana University Athletic Hall of Fame in 2022, joining her father, Kent Benson, the All-American basketball player and starting center on IU's undefeated and still the last undefeated 1976 national champion basketball team. Kent's here today. Ashley played professionally in Germany and Peru. She returned to IU as a volunteer assistant coach under Coach Dunbar in 2017. Ashley now is a firefighter and EMT for the Monroe County Fire Protection Unit. That is probably the most important thing I have read about you, Ashley, for all of the things that you've done. Thank you for our entire community, for firefighters and first responders. We cannot thank you enough. Escorted by Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame member, Sherry Cruzan is our next, or Sherry Dunbar Cruzan, excuse me, is 2026 inductee, Ashley Benson.
Sorry, I was not planning on crying today, but when he said that, just got me. Okay, first off, thank you everyone for being here. I was not gonna cry, but Mr. Deal got me. So thank you for the introduction. I'm not very good at these speeches. It makes me nervous, but I'll do my best. So I'd like to start off just by telling you guys a short story. I know we don't have much time up here, but I just want to tell you that story of how I fell in love with the game of volleyball. So as Mark said, you know, I grew up in a basketball family, so basketball was my first love. I would do just about anything to make sure I got to play on a team. Sorry. So while in grade school at St. Charles, a classmate and I made a deal. She would play basketball. Thank you. She would play basketball if I played volleyball. The reason why I wanted her to play basketball is because at St. Charles there wasn't enough girls, and if we didn't have enough girls, we couldn't play. We didn't have a team. So with that deal, you know, I just did it to make sure that we had enough players for the basketball team. So when I got to high school, I wasn't committed to playing volleyball. I thought, I'll just go. I'll tag along with my sister Jenny to open gyms and two-a-days just so I could, stay in shape and meet some of the incoming freshmen as well. About a week or two before tryouts, I noticed that the team had enough girls and they didn't need me. So I thought that was the end of my volleyball career. But was I wrong? The day before school started, my sister was playing in a varsity match. And while I was at the concession stand getting something to eat, Coach Eugene Kim came up to the bleachers and asked my mom why I wasn't at tryouts. My mom simply said, "She doesn't think you need her." After the match, Coach Kim came back up to find me, and he said, "We want you to play volleyball. I can't coach someone to be tall. I can't coach someone to have athletic genetics. If you want to play, show up to practice the first day after school, and you're on the team." Coach Kim saw potential that I never saw in myself. From that day on, he did whatever it took to help me reach that potential. Varsity practices, where my sister was practicing, were about an hour longer than the freshman practices. I started off waiting in the hallways till she was done because she was my ride home. But Coach Kim came out in the hallway one day and saw me sitting there doing nothing. He told me, "Get in the gym and get better." Excuse me. Coach Kim spent that extra hour working with me. He would be teaching me on one court while coaching the varsity team on another. He invested countless hours making sure I learned the proper footwork for attacking and blocking. And he never got frustrated with me. Right, Coach? Yeah. So thank you, Coach Kim, for taking a girl who didn't know her left foot from her right and teaching her to run the slide. A slide, it's like a layup, but instead of a ball being in your hand, you attack the ball at the top of your jump. That's what he told me. Learning that slide gave me that I think I love this feeling. That slide, along with all that I learned while playing the game, is what helped me earn an opportunity to play at Indiana University, just like my dad. At IU, I had the privilege of playing for Coach Sherry Dunbar-Cruzan, who challenged me to give the sport all I had and reach new heights as a volleyball player. She also helped bring incredible people into my life, including former IU volleyball player Karen Thompson, who became a mentor within the first 5 minutes of us meeting. Today, I'm proud to call them both my friends. To my family, friends, and teammates, thank you for your love and support, not just today, but throughout my entire life journey. Sorry. Thank you. To my mom, I'm so grateful you are here and that God answered our prayers, that you were able to make the trip today. Having you here means more to me than words could express. And finally, thank you to the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame for selecting me as a member of the class of 2026. And congratulations to all the other inductees. It is truly an incredible honor to be inducted into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
You killed it. Great job. I first met Ashley. She and my daughter played on a YMCA soccer team. She was, I think, 5. My daughter was 7. That's the first time I met Ashley. So, congratulations. Our next inductee, Dee Davis, Bloomington High School South. Basketball. Starting point guard on the Panthers, 2009 and 2011 state champions. Started his career at North and transferred to South for his sophomore year. The Panthers were unbeaten, 2009 state champions. As a senior in 2011, on the 2011 state champions, he averaged 21.6 a game, 5.7 assists, and 2.1 steals. D was obviously named an Indiana All-Star. Finished his career with 1,582 points, the 4th highest in county history. Also had 471 assists. D went on to play 4 years at Xavier, ranking 5th at Xavier in career assists with 492. He was 3rd team All-Big East as a sophomore. He played in 3 NCAA tourneys, highlighted by 2 Sweet 16 appearances. He's currently playing professionally overseas. When he is back stateside, he serves as a trainer for aspiring athletes. One of the great guards, and this county has produced a lot of great guards, but one of the great guards in Monroe County history, escorted by his high school coach and Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame member, Coach J.R. Holmes, our newest inductee to the Hall of Fame, Dee Davis.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. And congratulations to all the other inductees. Damn. I didn't know my top lip could sweat till I was standing back there. At first, I'd like to thank my family for pushing me and believing in me and giving me the confidence to be myself every day I walked out the house. What you have up here is all credited to them. Thank you for my lady flying in from Iceland to be here, my sister flying in yesterday from Florida to be here. I'd like to thank all my coaches and teammates I've had over the years. A lot of good times. One person in particular before I got to high school, Melvin Boatner, he gave me the opportunity to play with his son playing up 2 years while I was 12, 13 years old, got to play 16, 17 U tournaments to show myself alongside of other great players who were older than me. So that gave me a chance to excel when it come to recruiting and believing in myself when I played against kids my age. Another coach I would like to thank is Coach Hodson from North for allowing me to play varsity as a freshman. That definitely gave me a lot of confidence to play at the next level, believing I could go to NCAAs and be able to be a pro one day because I saw myself on that court. The coaching staff at South, Coach Holmes and the rest of those guys, we had a lot of good memories, definitely won some games, a lot of laughs. Thank all my friends and fans for supporting me throughout my career. There's a lot of things I think about when people ask me about a speech and they're asking me what I was going to say, and the only thing I could think about were the times in between all the games, hanging out at the pool parties in the hotels, the traveling for AAU, Hoosier Hoops. Since second grade, I played with a lot of these guys on my teams that I've won with since I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So I didn't do any of these things alone, and it was a team effort. Think about all the sacrifices it takes to be this person you see today. I'm sure all the other inductees feel the same way. There's a lot of time that you sacrifice away from your friends, away from your family, to make sure you are who you want to be. Think about the Vegas trips with Bloomington South basketball. Those are always been a highlight of my time in high school. I think about Coach Parker telling me before every game my senior year that he wouldn't trade me for any point guard in the country. I think about Waltz falling, chasing Kyle Dugan around around the gym at practice, and I think he broke a rib. Didn't he not break a rib? Yeah, it was good times. No, I cherish the relationships I've made over my career in Bloomington, Indiana. Well, since he said something about it earlier, I'll say it. So when I came to South, I wore number 11 at North my freshman year. And when I got to South, I wanted to wear number 11 again, but for some reason that number was not available for anybody at the time. And I went to Coach Holmes and I asked Coach Holmes if I could wear number 11, and he kind of gave me the no answer shake. And so, I bait him into the conversation a little bit, and I told him, why can I wear number 11? And he said, we can win state undefeated, you can wear number 11 next year. And so that motivated me to keep my word, I did, and Coach Holmes kept his word the next year. I don't believe I even asked for the number 11. And so it was right there in my locker the next year, and I don't know what the kids are doing now to earn that number 11 off the rack, but I know you got them working hard for sure. But Coach Holmes is always somebody in my corner and always had my back while I was at South. He always let me know that his door was open for me when it come to anything. He still does. So I appreciate my hometown of Bloomington, Indiana, and I appreciate everybody here for allowing me to be myself as I grew up and became this person you see today. Thank you.
Our next inductee, Dr. Nagun Duane Amankwa, Bloomington High School North, 1996, basketball, volleyball, track and field. All state in 2 sports, basketball and track and field. In basketball, she averaged 21.4 points, 10.8 rebounds at North High School. In track and field, was the state runner-up in the high jump, was still the North record holder at 5'7". She was named North's Athlete of the Year in 1996. Senior class valedictorian with a 4.0 GPA. Also, 1995 homecoming queen. Turned down a track scholarship offer from the University of Florida to play basketball at Bradley University. Despite a shoulder injury, she played in 101 games and scored 517 points, including 227 her senior year. Offered a tryout with the Indiana Fever, but she chose medicine and orthopedics. She earned her medical degree from Indiana University in 2005. Followed by a sports medicine fellowship at the University of Cincinnati, leading to an orthopedic position with the Cincinnati Bengals. She now serves as an orthopedic surgeon for Norton Orthopedic Institute in Louisville, specializing in sports-related injuries and arthroscopic surgery. Her husband, Kwejo, is also a clinical pharmacist at Norton. They have 2 children, Yaya and Denai. Nagun joins brothers Doc Duane and Queth Duane as inductees to the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. Nagun, Doc, and Queth, along with siblings Knock and Bill Duane, were all selected to the Indiana All-State team at North. In fact, the 5 Duanes are the only family in U.S. history to have 5 siblings play NCAA Division I basketball. The entire family was featured in a multi-page Sports Illustrated article detailing their accomplishments and philanthropic efforts in their native South Sudan. Escorted by her high school track and field coach and Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame member, Coach Ralph Siebold, is our latest 2026 Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Dr. Nagun Dwayne Abankwa.
Well, that was a nice introduction. Thank you. I was impressed. It's talking about us. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here tonight. I want to thank the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors, Sandy Searcy, Ralph Siebold, Barrett Deal, and anyone else that I have missed. Thank you for putting this event together. I know it takes a lot of work and dedication. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is such an honor. Sports has always been a huge part of the Dwayne family values. Through sports, we learn so much about life beyond athletics. The lessons I've learned through sports have stayed with me for my whole life. I would like to thank my coaches, teammates for believing in me, challenging me, and pushing me to always improve. Thank you to my parents, Dr. Julia Dwayne, and my late father, Dr. Wal Dwayne. My siblings, especially my sister who is here tonight, Nok Dwayne Bossy. I added that in per her request. She's also another all-star. My husband, Kwejo, my kids, extended family, and a lot of my friends, especially some of my closest friends that have been with me in my wedding. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your love and support. I didn't get here alone. I am fortunate to have grown up in Bloomington and attend Bloomington High School North. Bloomington is a special place. Because of Indiana University, it's always been a diverse community, a place where people from different backgrounds, cultures, and countries come together. This community made us feel like we belonged, and it also made us feel safe. When I was thinking about writing this speech, it made me think about a night in 1998 where the Bloomington boys basketball team, the last state championship team, and one of them is over there, traveled to Martinsville for a game. The racism and the hatred that our team and community experienced that night was terrible. But I also remember how Bloomington and the Bloomington Police Department made sure that our team, our community, and especially my family got home safely. And then Bloomington did something else. The town, the county, the state went to work to make sure that no school, community, or athletic team should ever experience that kind of hateful behavior in Indiana. I was so proud of Bloomington for standing up. I was proud of our community for doing the right thing. That was in 1998. It seems like the state of Indiana can still learn a little bit from our little town. When I think about my athletic career, basketball holds a special place in my heart. It's the family sport, although this generation over there, back in the back, doesn't seem to want to carry on the tradition. Except for my nephew, Charles. He's not here tonight, but I'm counting on you, man. It was through basketball that I injured my shoulder. Coming back from surgery and returning to play at a high level taught me so much. That experience helped to lead me towards a career in medicine, rather than continuing basketball professionally. And I believe I made the right decision. Today, I have the opportunity to help all kinds of athletes, from recreational to high level. So in many ways, my journey has come full circle. All three sports have helped to shape me. Volleyball taught me teamwork and trust. Basketball taught me toughness and resilience. And track taught me that your race is your own. But more than anything, sports has always been a great teacher for life. I would always say, especially to my kids, sports teaches you how to lose, how to pick yourself up, how to work harder, how to try again, and to never give up. Becoming an orthopedic surgeon in a male-dominated profession presented its own challenges. Today, women in orthopedics only make up 8% of orthopedic surgeons in the United States. Black women in orthopedic surgery only make up 0.6%. That's approximately 50 Black female orthopedic surgeons in the entire country. And we all know each other. So there were challenges, setbacks, and times when it would have been easy for me to give up. But the lessons from the basketball court, volleyball court, and the track stayed with me. I carried them into college, medical school, residency, fellowship, and into my career as an orthopedic surgeon. I have reused these lessons over and over again. So for my Gen Alpha, back there in the back, I want you to keep playing your sport, even if it's not basketball. I won't crash out. But I want you to remember this. Prepare, practice, work hard, be resilient, trust your teammates, be a good teammate, learn from your failures, and never give up. As I accept this award tonight, I do not see it as an individual accomplishment. As our Mimi says, it takes a village. This honor belongs to a community that welcomed my family. To the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors, thank you for recognizing me tonight. Thank you for recognizing not only the athlete, but the student as well. The people here tonight are not just board members. They played an important role in shaping who I am today. For that, I am forever grateful. I am honored to be inducted in your Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
If we had had the Sports Hall of Fame and the Scholar Athlete Awards, I think most everybody here would have been a Scholar Athlete and now a Hall of Famer for sure. Outstanding. Marty Hutzel, Bloomington High School, 1971 wrestling. Two-time state champion as a junior and senior under his father, Coach Kay Hutzel, helping the Panthers to 3 team championships. Marty was also state runner-up as a sophomore in the state meet. He was named High School All-American after finishing with a record of 73-2. Four-year letterman at Indiana University with a career record of 68, 34-3. Placed in 3 Big Ten tournaments and reached the Final 8 in 1974. Marty was named IU's Most Valuable Wrestler in 1974. He is a 2-time National Veterans Champion. Marty went into coaching and enjoyed a 42-year career that included 6 state titles, all in the state of Georgia, winning at least 1 in all of Georgia's 4 classes. He coached 38 individual state champions and was named Georgia Coach of the Year 6 times. Marty was inducted into the Indiana Wrestling Hall of Fame in 1989, followed by the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2008 and the Georgia Athletic Coaches Hall of Fame in 2018. Marty finished his coaching career at Bloomington North in 2018. Marty Hutzel, as a head wrestling coach, has a career record of 695 217. Escorted by Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame member George Finley is our newest inductee, Marty Hutzel.
Good evening. I'm truly humbled to stand before you tonight. This is a great honor for me and my family. Monroe County has a rich tradition in sports and has fostered so many great athletes. I am honored to be inducted into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. I would like to begin by thanking the officers and the board of directors of the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame for all they do to make this a great night. Congratulations as well to my fellow inductees. It's an honor to share this evening with all of you. I would also like to congratulate tonight's scholar athletes. Your accomplishments in the classroom and in competition are impressive. Before moving forward, there are two people who I want to thank. These two brought to life high school sports for many years, Joe Smith and Rex Kurtz. Thanks for all you have done for the sports in Monroe County. Thank you to my family, especially my wife Lisa, my brother Doug, and my twin sons Joe and John. Your love and support and encouragement has meant more to me than you will ever know. There are so many people in my life that have helped me to succeed. My father, Kay, he was an extraordinary coach. He had a remarkable ability to teach wrestling. He was the best of his time in teaching the skills, toughness, and discipline and perseverance it took to be a winner. He taught all of his wrestlers to stay with a plan that he made for them according to their abilities. I was fortunate to learn from the master coach like he was. My mother, Joanne, was my biggest supporter. She was always there for me, giving encouragement and managing, among other things, my diet. My teammates deserve recognition too. You can't learn to win without competition. Thanks to Jimmy Cornwell, a fellow Hall of Famer, 3-time state champion, Steve Kinzer, a Hall of Famer, and of course a race car driver, Bruce Corbin as well. This is Challenge Daily. Those practices my dad had, the battles tougher than all of us. My coaches at Indiana University were great men. Charlie McDaniel, who was a Hall of Famer, who gave me a scholarship to be a Hoosier wrestler. Following Coach McDaniel's, Olympic champion Doug Bluebaugh became our coach. He was a tough guy and a real taskmaster. My teammates, including Dan Cizeski, Craig Mann, Jeff Angel, and of course 2-time All-American Sam Komar, pushed me every day. The competition in our wrestling room was intense. It helped all of us grow. Tom Milkovich, a national champion from Michigan State, served as our assistant. He was instrumental in teaching me many skills. He and Coach Bluebaugh were really good at teaching advanced skills needed in national competition. I truly had great coaching throughout my career. After college, people helped me on my coaching career. George Finley was my student teacher and critic teacher. Mike Mossbrucker at Bloomington North gave me an opportunity to help the North Wrestling program. After coming back to Bloomington, I am truly thankful for their guidance and support. Tom Milkovich helped me secure my teaching job in Georgia and coaching position, a move that would shape my career. I was fortunate to coach at Feldwood High School, McIntosh High School, and last but not least, Henry County High School. Along the way, I was blessed to work with outstanding administrators, coaches, athletes, and families. I'm especially grateful to our principal, the late Andy Giddings. He just passed away 2 months ago at age 72. He hired me at Henry County and provided tremendous support and friendship. One of my favorite coaching memories involves my brother Doug, who's here tonight. We were competing for a state championship when he was coaching against a program that had won 7 consecutive state titles. His wrestler was on deck, and I was a nervous wreck. It seemed almost impossible, but one of Doug's wrestlers pulled off the stunning upset over a returning state champion from that team, same team. That victory provided the points we needed to win the state title. We won the state title that year by half a point. Sometimes the smallest moments have the biggest impact. Doug, thank you for all the times you've helped me throughout my life, both on and off the mat. One last thing. I thought of this story. Of all the athletes I had the privilege of coaching, one young man stands out because of the example he set for everyone around him. His name was Dalvin Tomlinson. Some of you might know the name if you follow pro football. And his career at the University of Alabama, he was a 2-time national champion there, defensive tackle. He now plays in the NFL. But what impressed me most about Dalvin was his character. Dalvin lost his father when he was 5 years old, and his mother during his junior year of high school. Most people would have understood if someone facing those circumstances struggled to continue moving forward. Dalvin never quit. He continued to excel in the classroom. He was 9th in the class, graduating near the top of his class, outstanding grades. He became a 3-time Georgia State wrestling champion, undefeated. He later earned his undergrad degree from Alabama and his MBA from Alabama, while playing at Alabama at the highest level. Of course, we beat him this year, so. My brother Doug, who served with me as an assistant my last 8 years, played an important role in helping develop Dalvin's wrestling skills. I did the mental part. My brother had to wrestle him. He was a monster. He's 6'3", 335 pounds. I will never forget watching Dalvin win his 3rd state championship and then celebrating with my brother Doug. It remains one of my most meaningful moments of my coaching career. Dalvin has carved out an outstanding career in the NFL. This will be his 10th year. He's a defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers and has earned an MBA from the Alabama, which I mentioned. He's an achiever and role model for so many kids. He puts on free clinics every year in his hometown. Dalvin's success was not simply about championships. It was about resilience, character, determination, and overcoming adversity. He continues to inspire me to this day. As I conclude tonight, I'm reminded that this honor is really a reflection of all the people who invested in me throughout my life. To my family, coaches, teammates, colleagues, athletes, and friends, thank you. Whatever success I've enjoyed is because of your influence and encouragement I've enjoyed and the support. I am deeply grateful, truly humbled, and incredibly honored to be a member of the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
Our final inductee tonight, Eli Stoddard, Bloomington High School South, football and baseball, 1994. Eli was the quarterback of the Panthers' undefeated 1993 state champions. He passed for 2 touchdowns and ran for another one in a 33-27 win over Lake Central in the state championship game. Eli was named the Phil Eskew Medal Award winner after the game. Eli lost only 4 games in 3 years as a starting quarterback. He finished as South's all-time leader in passing yards, passing TDs, completions, attempts, records later broken by Rex Grossman. Eli was named to the Herald Times top 33 All-State team and the Indiana Football Coaches top 50. Eli was co-valedictorian of the South class of 1994, continuing on our same route. He was an Indiana Football Hall of Fame scholarship winner. He was MVP of the North-South All-Star Game in 1994. A two-year starter on the South baseball team, he was named All-Conference in 1993. Eli went on to be a two-year starter at quarterback for Butler University, winning the team's MVP award in 1997. Eli graduated from Butler with an honors diploma in chemistry. He is currently serving as Senior Director of Clinical Laboratory Sciences at Eli Lilly and Company in Indianapolis. I can't even say that. Escorted by Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame member Greer Werner is our final inductee for 2026, Eli Stoddard.
Okay, what a night. What a bunch of great stories. I want to start by saying thank you to the Monroe County Hall of Fame, the committee and the board of directors for this induction and for such a beautiful event. Thanks to Coach Greer Warner for being my liaison through this induction process. Mark, thanks for the nice introduction. You're doing a great job up here. I do want to acknowledge Hall of Famer Joe Smith first, such an important part of Monroe County sports for decades. I remember listening to him announce his Player of the Week and his support for every high school sport in this county. Rest in peace, Joe. Tyler Thompson, I know you advocated as much or more than anyone for me to be up here tonight. Thanks for coming up here with me as well. Thank you for the nomination, my brother. And then congratulations to all the other inductees tonight. I'm connected closely with a few. Chris Byers from high school basketball, Bo Barzalauskas, one of my closest friends who did something that's just almost unheard of, winning Mr. Football as a lineman on both sides of the ball. And Rex Kurtz, the legendary Herald Times sports writer, I couldn't wait to read every Saturday morning. On the day of our state championship, he later told me this story. When another writer questioned why I was in your top 33, you told him, watch this game and then let me know what you think. I had maybe the best game of my career that night. Rex, thank you for always writing about what you saw, but also thank you for the support. I should tell you up front, this isn't going to be much of a highlight reel. The strange things I've learned putting this together is that most of the scoreboard moments have faded for me. But what hasn't faded is the people who put in the time and the work we did together that nobody saw. That's really what tonight is about for me. I'll start with some of the coaches because none of us get here alone. It began long before high school. Guys like Ron Perry, Bob Eads, Bill Pacey, Terry and Carrie Rogers, Jim Owens, who I saw here earlier tonight, my youth coaches at Smithville, Warren Brown from the Bloomington Barons, then James Marsh, Aaron Hosey, Sean Reidner, and Scott May from middle school and high school. And there's more. Every one of them gave me time and energy to help me grow as an athlete. Coach Mo Moriarty, Indiana Football Hall of Famer, taught me the game, but more than that, taught me I had to be calm when everyone was watching, unlike right now. That the demands of the sport at high levels required intense focus, and that leadership by example was a requirement on and off the field. We spent hours in film sessions, hours on extra work that nobody saw. He also saw something in me before I saw it in myself. My freshman year, he wanted me dressing varsity, so I'd know what it was like on Friday nights, and wanted me competing for a position as a sophomore. He believed in me and pushed me towards success. Coach Jim Self always asked for more out of me and gave me the support to get there. coaching us through extra routes with Tyler and other receivers, film study on Sundays so that when the games came, it was easy. We were ready. I'm lucky I still get to see Jim today as we are part of the same community. And every time he introduces me to someone, he's quick to mention he named his son after me. I don't think I need to explain what that means. And Coach Greer Warner taught me something too, as he has with so many others, the ups and downs of baseball itself. My senior year, during a slump, he told me he was going to take me out of the lineup. It stung right up until our right fielder got hurt in warm-ups that same day, and I was back in. I hit a home run and then ended up hitting about 400 the rest of the season. That same season ended in the sectional finals with me at the plate, hitting a line drive to left field that somehow got run down. It was the last out of the game and the last out of most of our careers, and that's baseball. That's where I think resilience actually comes from, not winning, but preparation and staying ready no matter which way the day turns. Football gave me one of those too, or probably more than one. But down 21-0 in the regional championship, standing next to Brady Shields, who said, "Man, it isn't supposed to end like this." But we stayed with it, converted a 4th and 19, scored a touchdown, and never looked back. I'm sure Rex could probably recount that story play by play. Here's the part I still can't quite explain. Some of our biggest wins I barely remember. My parents have vivid, specific memories of our state championship, the stadium, the drive, the feeling in the building, and I have almost none of that. A couple of plays, the trophy, I remember those, but the rest is gone. But I know exactly what it meant to me, to my family, to the school, and to this community. But you know what I do remember in vivid detail was the work, the extra weights, the extra film before school, the running, flipping railroad ties in a field. And if you guys go out to the display room, Bo actually has a chunk of that railroad tie on display with a picture on top of it. Dragging engine blocks through gravel with Bo, Brady, Damian, Crane, and a few other guys crazy enough to be put through that by Bo's dad, Carl. Also, you saw the engine block in the picture with Bo up here earlier. I remember all of that more clearly than most of the actual games because it was hard and because I did it with people that I cared about and we shared the same mission. Even then, I knew that investment would pay off, not just on the scoreboard, but in strength and mindset, and that's proved true ever since. Not the trophies, it was the work that got us there, the journey, as I like to say to my own kids now. That journey is really the thread running under everything else I want to tell you tonight. None of it happens without the people who made it possible. My parents, Ray and Sharon, and my sister Anna. No words can thank them enough. My mom and dad gave me a blend of competitiveness, determination, and unwavering support. And Anna got dragged to more games and tournaments than any kid should have to sit through, and never complained, at least not to me. I always knew where to find her on a Friday night, though, right there in the stands. Now I get to see it from the other side, as a parent myself, and I don't do that alone. My wife, Melanie, didn't know a thing about my sports career when we met in Indianapolis after college. She actually asked me for proof that I grew up in Bloomington, since she grew up nearby, an Edgewood Mustang. Now she's driving our son Reed to practices, cheering just as hard as my mom ever did. To my daughter, Marin, and my son Reed, watching you chart your own journey has been one of the best parts of my life. Thank you to the Clark family and Keith Skoglund, my in-laws, for your love and support. So if you're wondering what tonight is really about for me, it's not the scoreboard, and it's not even most of the games. It's the journey, the work nobody saw, the people who showed up early and stayed late. It's the people that never left, and many of you are sitting right here tonight. Thanks again to the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. It's been a wonderful evening. It's been an incredible honor, and reflecting on these times has been a true joy for me. Thank you.
I think we are so lucky to live in this county that we could produce 12 people like we have tonight into our Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame, not as athletes, but as people. Give them all a round of applause. Before I throw it back to David, we'd like all the 12 inductees to come forward here to the stage for the formal induction by our president. If you could come back to the stage, all 12 inductees, please. And at the same time, we'd like all members of the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame to also come and flank them and stand by your new brothers and sisters in the Hall of Fame. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I'll have you come back and read the names down.
Oh, right, read them, okay.
As they all approach, listening to Eli's story, it resonates with me as well. My wife went to Bloomington South. I went to Edgewood. I actually was a senior in Mo's very first year. Played 3 years at Edgewood, starting quarterback. Lynn wrote about it. And when I met my wife, when I came back to go to Indiana, I said, "You mean you never heard of me before? I played football at Edgewood for 3 years, and I was a starter." And she said, "Well, you must have not been very good, because I never heard of you." She might have been right. But then I'm like, "Will you marry me?" So, Eli, I appreciate that story. What a great night. What a great night. All of our inductees are here on the stage. The support of the members of the Hall of Fame are here. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct honor and privilege on this 24th day of July, 2026, to induct the following individuals into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. Coach Deal.
Henry and James Moore, John McLeod, Chris Byers, Dr. Andy Hipskind, Rex Kurtz, Bo Barzalauskas, Ashley Benson, D. Davis, Dr. Nagoon Dwayne Amankwa, Marty Hutzel, and Eli Stoddard.
These individuals joined 169 previous inductees into the Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame. Please join me one more time in saluting our Hall of Fame induction class of 2026. Congratulations. The beautiful plaque that you see will be hung, we hope, in the Fountain Square corridor where you can see it. But we're hoping for a new home. We're hoping for a home in the new Bloomington Convention Center, along with the Monroe County History Center. We'll see. Please champion the idea if you can. Tonight, we have Bloomington native, my friend and architect Doug Bruce, who represents the Capital Improvement Board. So don't let him out of here before you twist his arm. I think he's on our side. I'm not really worried about that. But tonight is done. We conclude the program. Thank you for attending. safe travels, and please give to the Joe Smith Memorial Scholarship program here. We're going to really grow this thing. It's going to be great. I promise you, next year, hopefully, we'll have it fully endowed by then. Thank you. God bless, and have a great night.